Guys, welcome back. Today we are making this cute female pants. To fold your fabric, to determine how much fabric you are going to fold, use your hip measurement and add extra 5 inches allowance. So I'll start by determining the length of my pants. As you can see, the length of my pants is 41 inches, and I'm going to take 1 inches for my hemming allowance. And from there I'm going to determine from my waist to my hip line. A video is going to be showing on the screen on how to measure that. I'm going to make that into a straight line, and from there I'm going to determine my crotch line. So I'm going to be putting a video on the screen for you to know how to determine your crotch line. Mine is 15.5 inches. I'm also going to make that into a straight line. So to determine my crotch extension line, I'm going to use my hip measurement divided by 12 minus 0.8. I have 2.3, so I'm going to approximate it into 2.5. So on my waistline, I'm going to mark the 2.5. On my hip line, I'm going to mark the 2.5, and on my crotch extension line, my crotch line, I'm going to measure the 2.5, because we are trying to get our crotch extension line. We already have our crotch line, which is 15.5. So to get our crotch extension line, I divided my hip by 12 inches, and I minus 0.5. So on the 2.5 on my crotch line, I'm going to take my 2.3 inches, which is what I got from dividing my hip measurement by 12 and minusing 0.5. So from the 2.3, I'm going to connect to meet my hip line like this. So on my trouser length, I'm going to divide the 2.5. You remember I approximated it to 2.5. I'm going to divide the 2.5 by 2, and it's going to give me 1.1. So I'm going to connect from the 1.1 I got on my trouser line to meet my 2.3 on my crotch extension line. So we have our crotch extension line. So on my waistline, I'm going to measure my waist divided by 4, and I'm going to add 2 extra inches for zip allowance and for seam allowance. So on my crotch line, I'm not going to take my hip measurement on my hip line. I'm going to take it on my crotch line, and I'm not going to take it from my crotch extension line. I'm taking it from the crotch line. So I'm taking my hip measurement divided by 4 on my crotch line, and I'm going to add 2 inches allowance. So I'm connecting from my waistline to meet my crotch line, which is now my hip line. So from this point, I'm going to determine how wide I want my pants to be. And now you are going to measure from your crotch extension line. So I want it to be a very wide pant, so I'm going to take 12 inches. So this totally depends on you, depends on how big you want your pant to be. For me, I'm taking 12 inches. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to connect into a straight line. So I'm going to cut out. So I'm going to come down from my waist by 3 inches for my belt. I'm going to connect that into a straight line, and then I'm going to cut out. And when cutting out this belt on your fabric, make sure you cut out 3.5 inches so that you have seam allowance to join your belt to your main pants. And also make sure that you cut on fold. So this is my band. I'm going to cut out 3.5 inches when I'm cutting with my fabric. So on this part, I'm going to come down by 1 inch, and I'm going to connect to meet the other end. And I'm going to cut this out. So we are done with the front part of this trouser, of this pants. So to cut the back part of this pants, you are going to increase the back panel is going to be bigger than the front panel, especially on the crotch extension line. So this is what I'm doing. I'm going to take my 3 inches for my band, the same thing I did for the front panel. So from that 3.5, I'm making sure that my pant length is the same. So I'm going to pin it down, and from that 3.5 is where I placed my front panel. So I've already taken out my band, so I'm going to extend my crotch extension line on the back panel. From there, I'm going to increase the crotch extension line by 3 inches. From that 3 inches, I'm going to connect to meet the waistline, just like this. And I'm also going to connect. I'm going to increase the back panel by 1 inch. So I'm going to increase every part by 1 inch, and I'll make that into a straight line. Two inches. Remember, we removed 1 inch from our front panel. I'm going to replace that on the back panel with 2 inches, and I'm going to connect to meet this end. So at this point, I've already cut out my band. I don't know if you understand, but I've already cut out my 3 inches band before I am doing this. So I'm just going to cut out like this. So this is my band for the back piece, and make sure you cut 3.5 inches. So we are done with drafting the pattern of this trouser. I'm just going to use my pattern to cut my trouser with my fabric, which is what I am doing. I hope this tutorial was helpful. If you get to make any pants with this tutorial, please let me know in the comment section how it turned out. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I'm going to see you guys in my next video. Bye.